Why did I quit doing the gig economy and go back into full-time 9 to 5 work? I began the gig economy a few years ago because I wanted to help support my daughter and my grandson at the time. He was born. I always wanted to be that grandma who could help take care of the grandson. So when he was born back in 2016, I began doing Lyft and Uber. I just did those. And then later on, I did Shipt, which is the grocery store. And later on, I did DoorDash, Spark. I think that's it. I think that's all that's all I did. But what I'm sharing with, I was in the gig economy. So that was like, you have gigs, you do some things, and you make money, right? I also did multi-level marketing. Yes, your girl did multi-level marketing. And at the time, it was great. However, as time goes on, I begin to think, wow, I want to do something else with my life. Yes, making your own schedule, getting things in order for the day, like getting up when you want to get up, and when you're ready to take a ride or whatever with a client, you can cut on your app, because the app is amazing. I mean, the way the apps are set up, it's set up for you to win. I mean, literally, unless you're not doing anything, if you cut on the app, you're gonna work. Okay. I didn't really have a problem with that. It did wear and tear on my car for the, all the Lyft rides and all the things, but I met amazing people. Now, fast forward, it's 2016. So fast forward, now we're in 2023. Okay. I make a decision after leaving a relationship, and I'm very transparent without going into much details. The relationship didn't work. So I was just make a decision to move from Dallas, Texas, and I moved to a little small town in South Carolina with a friend, just to kind of get myself back in order and make some decisions, because the relationship I was a part of may have led to marriage, which it didn't happen. And that's okay. All right. We won't even go there with the whole backstory. I'll just say this: it did not work out. So I did go to the small town. I did start working the gig economy once again. I did Spark, which is the grocery store chain through Walmart and Sam's. I did some stuff for AutoZone, picking up parts and dropping them off in different parts of the area of the small country town. Okay. And then I worked part-time at Starbucks. So here I am working this gig economy, working part-time at Starbucks. And then lo and behold, I get a therapist through a Starbucks program. Starbucks has this amazing program. When you are an employee, you get 20 sessions with a licensed therapist. So I took advantage of that. I said, you know what, if I'm going to work here, I'm in this small town, I need some direction, because, here I am, thinking that the relationship would be this way. I'd probably get married. I'd be doing this. And then, life changes, right? And I always tell people, you never know when life going to sucker punch you. Kind of. But anyway, don't worry about that, be a sucker punch, y'all. Just go with the flow. So I'm at the gig economy. I'm talking with my therapist, and as time is progressing, she's asking me to write out what I want my life to look like within 12 months. Not even 5 years, but 12 months. And I literally write down, maybe 6 months, she might have said, and I literally write it down. And then she says, when you're finished, please go ahead and email it to me so I can look over everything. Well, I will share with you guys, during that time and during those sessions, she helped me to discover that I wanted to have more purpose. I am no way disrespecting anyone who does a gig economy, because I think it's great for a lot of people. I mean, I literally met amazing people when transporting clients, delivering groceries, being in the small town and meeting all kinds of folks in all types of living conditions. I literally saw everything. It was amazing. I saw multi-million-dollar homes, and I saw trailers that are about to fall over. But people live there, and people are beautiful people. So the gig economy did work for me for a while. Now, I will say on my taxes, I did not do all the things. So yes, I do owe money with the tax. And hey, it is what it is. But my tax consultant explained everything to me. I have to pay it back. And that's just what we're going to talk about. 1099s are amazing, but you got to make sure pay your quarterly taxes and make sure you're doing it on a regular basis. Okay. Now, going back to the counselor and the therapist and why I quit the gig economy, I just felt at that part in my life, I need to make a decision if I want to stay within this type of work, which is mostly hospitality, really. And then, of course, you're doing gigs, you're driving, you're doing things of that nature. But at the same time, with something in me that said, you know what? There's more to be done. So what I did, she had encouraged me to, change my resume around, because I remember at one point, this is no, it's not even a joke. I remember at one point, I literally was applying for this position at the grocery store where I was living in a small town. I'm thinking, I went in dressed up really nice. I ended up talking with the people. Then they said, hey, we'd like to offer you the position. Now, I had already started working, I think, at Starbucks. I was trying to work 2 jobs. I just was trying to work. That's all. And I also looked at like substitute teaching. And then I remember that grocery store was like, yes, we love to have you on board. They saw my credentials and all that, all the things. Then they go, yes, you can make, guess what, y'all? $9 an hour. I've made $9 an hour since I was probably a kid. And even when I worked as a teenager, I don't remember making $9. But anyway, here's to say, that's what they told me. I said, no, ma'am, that's not something I can do. Now, here's the biggest thing, that some people are okay with that. And in this small town, that could be doable. It wouldn't work for me because I had some things I wanted to do. I wanted to build my account. I wanted to, move back to Florida. I love Florida, and I was living in South Carolina. So that didn't work for me, but I was just sharing that some people will take that. And then the Spark and the part-time working at Starbucks, it worked for me. The money was available. I could, build my account and get ready for my move and everything, because I gave myself less than, I said 3 to 6 months to get myself back in order. They say that it takes a man less than 6 months to get himself in order. And normally when they say that for men, because they normally don't have as many responsibilities as children and maybe taking care of children, where women will. Whereas a man may be able to build himself up because he has nothing but work to do. I always tell people, if you don't have nothing to do, just work and build your account, pay off bills or whatever. So during this time, I'm with the therapist, and I start to sketch out a path. I share, hey, I want to go back to school eventually. I would love to get my master's. Hey, I might even want to get my PhD. And she and I, and no dream was too big. No dream was too big. I was realistic on certain things, but I also knew I had to change, right? So for me, the gig economy did work for the time I needed it. My grandson is now 8 years old, and I do say I enjoyed every bit of the times that I was doing the gig economy. I was also a fitness instructor. So he would go with me to the gyms, go to their playrooms, and be able to play with kids and all the things. My daughter didn't have to pay childcare. Okay? So that was a plus, right? Win-win. So in 2023, I made a decision. So it's 2022 to 2023. So 2022 is when I went to the small town. I think it was, when I went to that small town, it was like September or October. And then I stayed all the way through March. So that's like October, November, December, January, February, March. So less than, really about 5.5, almost 6 months I was there. And I did a major transition from going from the gig to accepting a position. Once I changed my resume around, put it out there, I think there was a recruiter for this particular position I'm in now with child welfare. And they say, hey, I actually had another child welfare or some type of program like that, which was a salary position as well with a benefit package, to reach out. I don't know the reason. I think the reason why I didn't jump on them, I just was still working with my therapist, and I really wanted to make sure I was sound, because if you guys are on this, whether male or female, you know that you go through relationships and things happen, and then you have to heal too, right? So that's another thing. So in the gig economy, being the minimalist, I'm living in a small room with my friend. She let me use her room. I got minimal clothes, guys. I have like probably the clothes I wear at Starbucks, and then I will wear like a beanie hat and like a jacket. I always look neat. Okay, so I will say that I always look neat. But I just was so, when I say minimalist, that was minimalist living, literally minimalist living, because I took only what I had, because I had to give away a lot of my items when I left Texas. I literally just gave them away. And one of my friends who I did stay with, she said, Lisa, whatever you lose, God will replace. And I do believe that. So away from the gig economy, working on trying to get back to a regular, full-time salaried position, right? So I do get an interview with this particular company that I'm now still there, going on 2 years, to be in March. And I remember being on the interview. I remember having on my wrap because I didn't have my hair done. I put on a cute necklace or whatever. And I did an interview for almost an hour. And she wanted to offer me the position, but of course she had to do the things they always do, the background checks. But I knew with confidence that I knew confidently I could go in there and knock out the interview, and I did. And then from there, it was almost surreal when I got the acceptance letter. Well, it's called the offer letter from a company, and it came in the mail, and I'm opening it, and I see the salary, I see the benefit package, and I'm pretty sure I cried. I'm pretty sure she did offer the position, but it's not real until it's real, until you get a letter. And I think I still got the letter, and it's offering a position, child welfare, where you're working as a case manager, aka social worker, with the child welfare foster care arena. And if you know a little bit about my history, I was a foster parent for years with my then husband. However, I got the position. I then had to make a decision or get an apartment. And the funny thing, that's how we're going to go into co-living spaces, which I won't go on this video. I just want to tell you I left the gig economy, came full-time into my career. And then if you come back, I'm going to tell you about co-living spaces. So there you have it. I went from gig economy, making great money, getting tips, having fun, to full-time career. Not that I'm not having fun. It's just that it's a full-time career. It's a lot more difference because I'm working under the Department of Children and Welfare. Everything leads back to the statutes of Florida. Everything leads back to your court paperwork. You can't be a slouch. You cannot cut off the clock and be like, I don't feel like doing this. I'm going to the beach. You have to be serious about what you do. But I do escape to the beach. I do have a full-time career. I do have a benefit package. I do get paid time off. I love it. I do get away. Matter of fact, I'm going on vacation on a cruise with my sister on Virgin Voyages in a few weeks. So here we are. Here we are from the gig economy to full-time career. Do I love it? Absolutely. Do I miss the gig economy? I do. Do I miss the hustle and the grind? I don't, because it wore me out. But I will say, I commend anybody who sticks with it and they do it, but do it so that you stay healthy. Do like a young lady, I think she does DoorDash. She said, get an ADP. It was an automated data processing. Get on the ADP system. Get your money put in there so you'll get get paid out, and get you a LLC so you can have a real business. And if you're going to do gig, I'm just telling you, those are the things I would do. Get an LLC, make yourself a LLC, get an ADP system so that you will have where your money is. It will pay out your taxes to the government every month, and you won't get in no problems, no troubles, okay? So that's how I left the gig economy and came to my full-time career. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you about co-living and why I chose it over regular apartments. Bye, y'all.